With a star suspended and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on and don't forget to like the video. Despite not being able to climb Mount Everest originally due to a foot injury, Darby Allin still has intentions of doing so, telling the Dallas Morning News, "You can only climb it 2 months out of the year. If you could climb it any month, I would have been there right now. But, you know, you gotta wait a year," Allin explained, noting that his 9-month training regimen was something most would spend years preparing for. Everybody's saying, like, maybe the foot break is a sign that you shouldn't do it. And I said, hell no. That's a sign I should do it next year. It's been such a roller coaster of emotions going into it. Like, I wanted to do it before, but now I really want to do it. It's just like the moment was taken away. I'm super excited for it. I was just walking around, looking around like, what can I fall off of? To me, going to all of these buildings, there's such an aura and vibe to these stadiums. And every time I'm walking in, I'm like, what can I do that will leave a lasting impression? And I put myself in the shoes of being like a 4th grade kid, you know what I mean? Like, if I saw something, what will I remember for my entire life? Because with this wrestling stuff, it's pretty wild how much of an impact you can have on people's lives. I don't take it for granted. It's pretty crazy, you know, just how you can inspire somebody and change the whole trajectory of their life. In another attempt at delivering an RKO to Randy Orton, Tommaso Ciampa posted this video on X.
You know what really grinds my gears?
I know what grinds your gears. There he is warming up them shoulders.
Yeah.
But I got a foolproof plan for you not to yell.
I'm not wearing it.
Wear it. Put the tape on. Put the tape on. Yeah, I know, but put the tape on.
Yell.
I don't trust you. Put the tape on, man. There it is. Okay. Are you ready? Oh, yeah, get it on. Get it on there. Stick it good. Is that sticked? Okay.
Oh, really? Grinds my gears.
There we go. You got it. Be quiet. Yeah. Don't rip it off! Oh my God! Why'd you rip it off? Why did you rip off the tape? The tape was there for a reason.
Oh,
it was there for a reason. What? Wait. Stupid!
You were Jamaican. I thought he was Jamaican.
Asked about Britt Baker's suspension from AEW due to a confrontation with MJF, president of the promotion Tony Khan told Barstool Wrestling, "I mean, Britt Baker has been on the show just this week. That's what they told me. I think Britt Baker is fantastic, and it's been so great having Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, back in AEW. She's chasing the CEO, and I think that at AEW All In, how many abbreviations was that in like 10 seconds? Pretty cool. I think at AEW All In coming up this Sunday, it's going to be DMD versus the CEO for the TBS title. It's going to be a fantastic match. To me, Mercedes versus Britt Baker is one of those dream matches I've wanted to see for a long time, even before they worked in the same company. It's one of those matches you never thought you'd get to see, and it's happening at Wembley Stadium this Sunday. It's going to be a great match, and it's been a great rivalry that's unfolded on AEW television. Noting a partnership between WWE and a team of the Premier League, Ringside News wrote that AFC Bournemouth is excited to announce pioneering partnership with the iconic WWE 2K video game series. This marks the first collaboration between a Premier League football club and the renowned wrestling simulation franchise. In the coming weeks, fans can look forward to AFC Bournemouth-themed content in the latest installment of the game, WWE 2K24. This collaboration aims to merge the high-energy world of Premier League football with the thrilling gameplay of WWE 2K. Known for its stunning visuals and immersive experience, WWE 2K24 lauded as the highest rated console game in the history of the WWE 2K series, is available across multiple platforms including PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series XS, Xbox One, and PC. The game features a blend of legendary and current superstars, offering fans a gripping representation of the evolution of wrestling entertainment. Rob Mitchell, commercial director at AFC Bournemouth, expressed enthusiasm about the partnership. This is a fantastic opportunity to engage with our fans through a fresh, innovative platform. The synergy between WWE 2K's engaging gameplay and the vibrant spirit of Premier League football is bound to create an unforgettable experience, Bryce Yang, Senior Director of Franchise and Partnership Strategy at 2K, added. The partnership between WWE 2K and AFC Bournemouth represents a dynamic fusion of two exciting sports dimensions. We are eager to see the success of this collaboration and are confident that it will deliver a new level of entertainment to fans. Mentioning the kisses that she has shared with Mina Shirakawa in AEW, Mariah May told Wrestling with Freddie, "It was not pitched. We just did it. Mina and I are extremely close. We've always been very close in Stardom. We just did it. The next time around, they were like, hey, can you guys stop kissing? I think there's a bit of an archaic view on it. And people seem to think we have no autonomy over our bodies. It's my choice who I kiss. It's my choice what I do. If I'm not comfortable doing something, I would always say so. I remember seeing, the usual suspects being like, oh my god, this is setting women's wrestling back so much. It's like, first of all, no one made us do it. We chose to do it. That's just how we show affection to each other, and we always have in our friendship. Like I said, if I don't want to do something, I won't, but myself, Mina, and Tony are three extremely decorated women's wrestlers who, off our own backs, have become very successful all over the world, and so to try and tell us we're setting women's wrestling back was pretty crazy to me. The numbers don't lie. I think myself, Tony, and Mina got the best rated segments for about 8 weeks in a row, and as we should. Touching on former WWE star Bobby Lashley potentially making his way to AEW, Jim Cornette said this on his drive-through podcast. You sign Bobby Lashley in AEW. What is every match he's going to have? A handicap match, or is he going to have to try to fly around for these midgets? How many somersaults can he do? Who could he work with in that company that wouldn't just be visually repellent but could actually work a regular wrestling match with him past MJF at this point? I'm just saying Bobby Lashley is too big a star and literally too big a guy. I don't think Tony Khan would be smart enough to want to sign him or have anyone for him to work with that would be palatable, that it wouldn't look like child abuse by a grown adult. It's a shame because there are a dozen people you would think of that Bobby Lashley could have a program with right now in WWE, but I can't think of anyone in AEW who would be meaningful for him to work with or who wouldn't look ridiculous. Following his departure from WWE, Bobby Lashley can be seen training for a boxing match, posting this clip to Instagram. Giving his perspective on Bobby Lashley possibly facing Jake Paul in a boxing match, Booker T noted on his Hall of Fame podcast, "I like Bobby, but if you want to get knocked out, go fight Jake Paul. Doesn't matter that he's bigger one bit. Lashley is older, slower, as well as he hasn't been training to be a boxer. Boxing is not something you play, as real as it possibly could be. If I was advising Bobby Lashley, I would advise him, bro, do something else." Talking about the possibility of winning a world title for the 17th time in WWE, John Cena said this to Shannon Sharp on the Club Shay Shay podcast. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I think what's interesting about the tour is there are some jackpot long shot scenarios where it can happen. But to win a #1 contendership in a story-driven purpose, you have to earn it. I had my chances. I've been a part-timer now since like 2018. That's 6 years. I've had my chance of coming back and being like, I want you in a match. I haven't won a match since 2018. That's a slump. Step 1, I need to bust the slump. If I win the Royal Rumble, I get an automatic chance. There's been stakes put on the Elimination Chamber. If I win that, I might get an automatic chance at the championship. The Money in the Bank suitcase is a suitcase for a championship match anytime, anywhere. So that's what's cool about doing it over a year. There are these lottery chances where it could be like, yo, he may break the record, if that's even an option. I gotta start winning in January and I might earn a shot by December. During that same interview, John Cena called Roman Reigns the greatest of all time over The Rock, saying The Rock would be second greatest of all time because The Rock did the same thing in the 90s, but this is the one time I can say this, because The Rock is always #1. Roman's numbers have been better than Dwayne's. Also, John Cena revealed why he will never have children, telling Club Shay Shay, I have a certain curiosity about life, and I also know the investment that it takes, and my biggest fear is, as someone who's driven, many times stubborn and selfish, I try to approach the world with kindness and curiosity, but I don't think I'm personally ready, nor will I ever be, to invest the time it needs to be a great parent, because I want to live life for all it is, and I still have a lot to do, and I still want to do a lot. I have a wonderful partner I do it with. We've had open conversations about this. We share the same values. It's a tough subject to talk about, because it immediately puts you in a category, and we can't help but judge. People are human nature. We're all judgmental. I'd like to believe that I operate under the construct that everyone's okay living their life, and I can tell you this is not like a knee-jerk reaction. I've thought long and hard about this, even as my youngest age is like 15, 16. I remember thinking about it. During the taping for AEW Collision in the UK, Jeff Jarrett would be on the receiving end of massive chants from fans in attendance. Here's some clips. Mentioning the prospect of NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez taking on WWE newcomers Giulia and Stephanie Vaquer, CM Punk said this at the Fanatics Fest event. Roxanne Perez is the present. As far as the future looks good for her too. Uber talent, head on her shoulders. The sky is the limit. I want to see what she can do on the main roster. I know there are some heavy hitters coming in NXT. Stephanie Vaquer, Giulia is coming. If they're going to NXT, I want to see them mix it up with Roxanne Perez. That's going to be some dynamite stuff. Revealing how much he made on his initial WWE contract, Chris Jericho noted on his podcast, "Walking into that dressing room, I had a fairly good guarantee. I got paid $450,000 a year, guaranteed to come in, which was a lot less than WCW was offering me, but I didn't care about the money. I just cared about the opportunity. It was a lot more than a lot of people were making in WWE, so at the time, guaranteed contracts were just starting to become a thing, which is so laughable when you think about it now. I have kind of a target on my back of this hot young upstart coming in. He's interrupting The Rock. He's got this big push, this big contract. There were kind of a lot of odds stacked against me when I first walked into the dressing room." For an update on the negotiations between AEW and Warner Bros. Discovery, Ringside News wrote that, according to Fightful Select's Sean Ross Sapp, discussions have been ongoing, with recent developments suggesting a new long-term television deal could soon be finalized. WBD sources have confirmed that while some bureaucratic hurdles remain, a substantial offer has recently been extended to AEW. This offer comes after what has been described as a productive meeting between AEW's Tony Khan and WBD's David Zaslav in Paris during the Olympics. Sources describe the proposal as extensive, indicating a significant commitment, though specifics beyond the term extensive were not provided. The decision now rests with AEW, which is currently reviewing the proposal. Previously, AEW was reportedly offered at least double their current deal, although it is unclear if this increase is for the same amount of programming or includes additional elements. AEW's existing deal includes shows like Dynamite, Collision, and Rampage, and it grants exclusivity for AEW programming on television, which is why Dark is no longer available on YouTube. The scope of AEW's engagement with WBD has been broad, involving reality shows, special crossovers, and pilots on WBD's digital channels. Discussions about pay-per-view strategies, next-day streaming, library rights, and Ring of Honor content packages could significantly impact the financial terms of any new agreement. Internally, there have been rumors of a potential shift in AEW's pay-per-view strategy discussed by WBD, although details remain speculative, as WBD did not comment on these discussions. It's noted that any new agreement with AEW would likely consider the implications for Max, WBD's streaming service. Both AEW and WBD representatives have expressed optimism about continuing their partnership for the foreseeable future. AEW's initial short-term agreement with WBD began in 2019 and was extended at the start of 2020. Explaining why he wanted to have a coffin match at the All In event this weekend, Darby Allin said this to KNC Masterpiece: "Pro wrestlers are their best when they're themselves turned up to 10, and now he's himself, which is a child. He takes everything for granted. He never shows up to work. Come on, man. The coffin match, everybody's like, why is it a coffin match? Why so extreme? I set the guy on fire. We're gonna go to Wembley, we're gonna lock up and have a good old match? No, man. I've already set the guy on fire. We've had this bloody cage match. There's only one place to go from there, and that's the coffin match. That's the end all be all. I don't want a whole year feud with Jack Perry. I want to end it at Wembley." When it comes to the AEW World title scene, Ringside News wrote that Darby Allin is scheduled to compete for the title against the winner of the Swerve Strickland vs. Bryan Danielson match from All In on the September 25th Grand Slam episode of Dynamite at Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York. According to the Wrestling Observer, there has been significant discussion about Allin potentially becoming the AEW World Champion. The report indicates that an Allin World title reign has been seriously considered, though the timing of this potential run remains unclear. Danielson is currently the favorite to win the world title at All In, but if he does win, his reign is expected to be brief due to the need for neck surgery and the end of his in-ring career. Regardless of the outcome at All In, Allin has been discussed to win the title. Touching on a former AEW name that was spotted backstage in WWE, Ringside News wrote that earlier this year, the unexpected release of several superstars from the AEW roster shocked quite a few fans for good reason. This included Jose the Assistant, and it appears he was recently backstage at Smackdown as well. During his time with Tony Khan's promotion, Jose the Assistant managed La Facción Ingobernables and worked closely with talent such as Andrade and Rush. Although he had been with the company since 2021, he was released in April of this year. Fightful Select reports that Jose the Assistant was backstage at WWE SmackDown in Orlando alongside Andrade. Although he resides in the area, he was present for the entire duration of the show and was seen arriving and leaving with Andrade. Additionally, he was also spotted at a recent set of TNA tapings. Jose the Assistant used to work with Andrade during his time in AEW, and it would make sense for him to debut in WWE and continue his partnership with the Mexican star. Explaining why she ended up leaving WWE, Ronda Rousey told the Pretty Intense podcast, "I also miss rolling, which is like sparring on the ground. I miss grappling, which is sparring without hitting each other. But with my history of neurological injuries, I can't take hits to the head anymore or endure impacts beyond what's necessary. So I can't really do it for fun. Neurological injuries accumulate over time, and it's not something you recover from. They just build up." Going over the legal issues a star from TNA is facing, Ringside News noted that the pro wrestling world is full of a variety of people. Just because someone is exceptionally talented in the ring doesn't mean they are free from troubles outside the squared circle. Rich Swann's story is one of a cautionary tale, and now he is checking into rehab to get on the right track once again. Rich Swann was arrested on June 8th in Altamonte Springs, Florida, on charges of disorderly public intoxication and causing a disturbance, both misdemeanor offenses. Following the arrest, post-wrestling reports that Swann has voluntarily entered a substance abuse rehabilitation program, as confirmed by TNA. According to the arrest report, Swann was seen attempting to forcefully enter an apartment, possibly mistaking it for his own. The resident, who was inside at the time, armed himself with a handgun and confronted Swann, who then backed away and left the property. Police later located and arrested Swann, who appeared intoxicated and admitted to drinking a lot. He was charged after causing multiple disturbances in the area. Swann was released the next day on a $250 bond and is being represented by a private attorney from the Joshi law firm in Orlando. This incident marks the second time Swann has been charged with similar offenses, following an arrest in September 2022 for causing a disturbance while intoxicated at his apartment complex. In light of these events, TNA has suspended Swann pending an internal investigation and has stated that they take such charges seriously. Swann has also pulled out of future independent bookings. Despite the recent arrest, Swann continued to wrestle for TNA, appearing at the Against All Odds show on June 14th and at subsequent TV tapings. This is not Swann's first run-in with the law. In December 2017, he was arrested on charges of false imprisonment and domestic battery involving his wife, Sue Young. Although the charges were later dropped due to insufficient evidence, Swann was suspended and eventually released by WWE following the incident. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.